Wingsuit from Swipe Entertainment on iOS and Android. It's been a great year for wingsuits and video games. Far Cry 4 allowed gamers to zip down the Himalayas, and helmet-mounted action cams have been paired with the Oculus Rift to surround virtual reality pundits to give them the experience of super fast near-death in crazy, oh shit, I'm going to die vision. But let me show you this little app here. Wingsuit was brought to my attention after I complained about the state of mobile games. The pay-to-win faster, microtransactions, the altogether too easy difficulty, and the feeding of known addictive gameplay to vulnerable children, etc. I was pointed immediately to a game that promised a real challenge, while remaining fun, and one which doesn't exploit me as a mobile games consumer. Wingsuit comes in two flavours. Either pick the first 2 levels up for free in the Lite version, or pay for the full game in the Pro version. And would you know it, the Pro version costs 59p, as much as a can of Coke. Bubbling away inside this can, you will indeed find an actual challenge that I believe the mobile scene has been lacking for a while. And on top of that, there are 30 characters to get to unlocking, 5 very different levels to familiarise yourself with, and 2 different game modes for each level. This little purchase also contains every expected feature that could really round off a package like this. For instance, there is a cinematic replay mode where you can jump between cameras and change the speed of the playback, both of which can lead to very impressive results. There are a good number of options that can improve or adjust graphics or gameplay, and 40 achievements to unlock, as well as being able to view your player statistics. As fully featured as the game is at this lowest price tier of purchasable apps, there are unfortunately a few things that spoil the experience for me. The first and biggest problem is the difficulty. Even if you have paid for the full version of the app, entitling you to access all levels and characters, you have to get good to reach them. Gosh, just like classic games. Yes, indeed, but myself and many gamers today have become far too impatient with mobile games and the way they feed society's worrying need for instant gratification. There's a good chance that you'll see death a great number of times more than the end of each level, especially when you're going for the high score on a points run. As big a complaint as this is, the game does allow you to achieve a combination of whichever stars you can get in order to advance to a new level. So if the balloon run isn't your thing, then just get more of the stars in the points run. Oh, but the balloon run. Gripe number 2. The game is unforgiving. Yes, this goes together with my previous complaint, but I believe it is important to point out everything that detracts from the fun here. In most racing games I've played, where checkpoints must be hit in order, there is a penalty for missing a checkpoint, for example, adding time to your run, or maybe there's a set number that you're allowed to miss on each course before you're out, a sort of a 3-strike system. In Wingsuit, if you miss a single balloon, then that's it. You have to start the run all over again. The real joke is that if you miss a balloon part way, then it allows you to get the rest before you actually realise that you missed one right at the end, way after the mistake was made. And this was a mistake that I made far too many times. The collision boxes for these balloons are pretty small, and most courses require tight angles from previous balloons to get to them. In any mode, death is death. Okay, sometimes you get a message to tell you that you walk away with a few broken bones, but the run still ends. And there are no checkpoints to bring you back to a more recent portion of the level. And there is no rewind button. Both of these are features that I have seen in other Wingsuit games released in the past year. I can see how Swipe Entertainment might have wanted to keep the game as the hard one, because that is more realistic, and it should be said that the physics feel just realistic enough in Wingsuit, which feels great to play. The game is played by tilting your device to angle your pilot, and swiping the screen to pull off moves including some sick flips. Be warned though, there is no other control option. When I started out on the app, I sorely missed a touchscreen analog stick, which is a thing I'm not usually a fan of. A cheap device with a cut rate accelerometer input would make advancement very difficult, if not impossible. I also wanted to go a few runs on the bus, but the movement of the vehicle impacted too much on my phone and it became unplayable. The crux of point scoring is to get as close as possible to things for as much of the run as you can. When you need to maintain a close proximity for a long stretch of time, you simply need good hardware and a steady hand. There again, I had a complaint, but yet again, it is justifiable if you remember that the game doesn't cater for casuals half as much as it does for dedicated players who want a more realistic challenge. There are other inspired touches that assist the realism of Wingsuit by immersing the player in the moment. The screen shakes when close to an object such as a building, rock face, or the ground, and it shakes with more vigour when you are dangerously close. Your shadow also handily gives you an idea of the distance. You can hear a satisfying rush of wind blow around you with some very well captured and leveled sound effects, and virtual experience purists may even enable first-person mode. Gamers able to record and upload their replays have managed to share a good few impressive things on YouTube and Camcord. There are some very impressive lines to be found hidden in levels to rack up some sick points, and a few players have recreated impressive stunts performed in real life. Well done to the level designer who decided to put those existing and challenging features in there. And that's about all there is to the game. The fun is the challenge, so if you are looking for that, and a game that doesn't pander to the more annoying social and mobile gaming paradigms, then you should get at least the Lite version. If you manage to clear both of those 3 levels, then the Pro version is more than recommended. I have been told by a dev that there is a patch in the works, one that I hope will address at least a few of the issues that I have brought up in this video. Thanks for watching, please leave a thumbs up and click the subscribe button to see more of the Kilobits videos here at youtube.com/thekilobits. You can find out more of what the Kilobits is up to at facebook.com/thekilobits and at Twitter, twitter.com/thekilobits.